Hello. Okay, so we want to figure out if we want to refinance our mortgage. So, first things first, we want to do the price, which is $265,500, and the LTV, which is 80%, and then figure out the loan. We are going to multiply basically the price times the LTV. B1 times B2. Alright. And then we want to figure out the payment, rate and term. The rate is 7%, and the term is going to be 30 years. So to figure out the payment of that will be equal to payment, and it's times the rate divided by 12. So we're going to do B5 divided by 12, and then we want to include the term and multiply it by 12. And then we also want to make sure that we include the loan. So, awesome. Alright, and then we want to do the annual. The annual payment is going to be the payment that we have, just times 12, because that's how many months. So B4 equals B4 times 12, and that's our annual payment. Alright. Okay, so now this is all the information we have. So now we're going to have a different situation, well, a new situation, and we're trying to figure out if we want to refinance after 4 years. Okay, so first things first, we want to do the balance on the old loan and figure this out. And it's going to be the present value of a rate, so that divided by 12. And then we're going to put this in parentheses because we're going to subtract and also multiply. We're going to do the term, and then we're subtracting it by 4 years because that's how many years we've already done payments and everything. And then we're multiplying by 12. And then we also want to make sure we include the payment that we have been doing, B4, and there is the balance on our old loan. Okay, so we want to include the new rate, which is going to be 5%. And then we also want to include the new term, which is still going to be 30 years. 30 years, okay. Okay, so this family is actually only going to stay for 3 more years in this home. Okay, and so then we also want to figure out the cost for a new loan. Okay, we're going to have some fees on this. So we have the origination, which is 1%. And then we also are going to have, we want to include the fees, and our fees are going to be with the appraisal and everything. It's going to be $2,000. Okay, and then we want to, now we want to figure out the origination with the 1%, and it's going to be the 1% multiplied by the balance on the old loan. Okay, and then now I want to figure out the payment, which is going to be the new rate, which is 5%, and we're going to divide that by 12. Okay, and then now we're going to do the new term, which is going to be 30, and we're going to multiply that by 12. And then now we're going to do the balance on the old loan to include that to figure out the payment. Okay, so $980. Alright, so now we want to figure out the annual payment, which is literally the payment that we have right here. And we just want to multiply by 12 because that's how many times we're going to pay, how many months. Okay, and that is our annual payment versus the one that we had before. So that's not bad. Okay, so then we want to figure out basically how much we're going to be paying up front. It's going to be the fees, and then we're subtracting it with the origination. C17. Okay, and that's going to be that amount, which, I mean, that's not really that bad. And then each year we're actually be saving money with the old payment versus the new payment, and we basically just want to figure that out. So it's the annual payment, which is $11,000. So we're gonna grab that, and then we're subtracting it from the other annual payment, which is the $15,000. B7. Okay, and then it's gonna be $3,521. And it's the same thing each way. Okay, I don't know why it does that. I'm actually just going to type it in. Make my life easier. B20 minus B7. Okay, and we did through the 4 because that's going to be, we're only going to stay there for, oh, sorry. It's not supposed to be 4, it's supposed to be 3. We're going to only stay there for 3 more years, so that's why we only have the 3. Okay, so we're going to go up here and we're going to try to do the payoff comparison. So, the old versus the new. So, the old and then the new for the years, the old is going to be 7 because we refinance after 4 years, and then we're going to stay for 3 years, so that's 7 years. So, we're going to do 7. And then the new is just going to be the 3 years. Whoops. Okay, so we want to figure this out. So we're going to do the present value of the old rate, which was 7%, which is B5. And we're going to divide that by 12. And then we want to do 30 minus, because, you know, it's going to be, the term is 30. We're going to do 30 minus 7 because that's how many years that we've done it now. And then we want to do the old payment. This would be 4, and then we're close the parentheses, and this is going to be the payoff. Ooh, okay. And then, just kidding, I need to multiply this by 12. I was wondering why it was so low. Multiply by 12. And then, this is, okay, that's a lot better. Okay, now to figure this one out, we're going to do the present value of our new rate, which is going to be the 5%. And we want to divide that by 12. And then we're going to want to do 30 minus the 3 years. And then multiply it by 12. And then we want to make sure we also include the payment, B19. And then there's that one. Huh. Okay. So it's actually not that big of a difference over here between the new and the old. And if you subtract the old with the new, it's actually, that's the difference. But it's actually better now. The new is lower than the old. I mean, it's only lower by 227, but still. Okay, and then we just want to copy the number that we just got down here. Okay. Okay, so we want to do the total. And there's an auto sum function right here. Just hit enter. Well, that's so cool that it does that. Okay, and then you just want to drag this over. And I'll just copy the formulas for us. Cool. Okay, so we want to do the internal rate of return. And in order to calculate that, we basically just, I'm just going to grab these 4 Put the parentheses back in. Okay, and then there's 76%. Okay, so since over here is a negative, we're going to want to use the NPV function just to be on the safe side to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing. So we're going to do 0.1. Okay, and then we want to put all the future cash flows. And then we're going to want to subtract this one, but since it's already negative, we're actually going to just add it. Well, not equals, add this. And okay, so this is our net present value, and it's a positive one, which basically means that we should actually make this decision because it's a positive thing for all of it. Okay.